All right, the Black Keys and Sinister Kid on WRSE, and we are back here with DJ Chubb. DJ Chubb, what's going on, man?
Same old, same old.
Same old, same old. Same old, same old. Very, very good radio voice, by the way, man. You really got that good radio voice going.
Thank you.
Now, we were just talking to you a bit about 10 minutes ago, you know, about what it is that you do and, you know, how you work and all that. Do you want to just kind of give a brief recap of what we talked about and what it is that, you know, you do?
Well, I produce music. I listen to music, collect music. I hang out and have a good time. Try to live simply.
Right. Excellent. But you are a producer, and you make your own music, your own beats. Now, something that we didn't talk about the last time that I actually just like to kind of start off with is have you ever thought about making beats for artists?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was the idea when I first started, though, was just making tracks and hopefully somebody will come along and hear it. You know, but it just kind of went into me doing my own thing, you know, making archives of music eventually. Like, you know what, I need to do something with this myself.
Absolutely, man. Now, one thing that we were just talking about on the break was that you said that you got started in '96. That's 16 years back. And you said that you got started because you got a gig at a roller rink. But you were just telling me on the break about how you used to take. Well, I'll let you tell the tale. What did you used to do when you were a kid?
Well, in elementary school, we owned a few radios in the house that kind of was like portable radios, had a tape deck on it. And I would just take those two radios and sit in the kitchen and grab like all the tapes in the house, you know, just sit there. Those were actually like my two turntables. Even those tape players, that's how I started. I'm in elementary school, I'm jazzing out and hanging, having fun with music. So it went from me like I was just putting in tapes. I play one song on one tape deck, go to the other tape deck, be hitting fast forward and reverse and pause and stop and playing it in sync as much as I could at that age and that time, you know, and that's kind of how it started. And even to like make the record play in time with the other one, I would grab on like the door to the tape deck, and it would play. It would pull against the heads of the tape deck to make the record play a little slower. Yeah. So it was like something funny and goofy as a kid I would do, but that's probably how it really started me getting into the DJing, was the idea of actually having two records versus just two tapes.
Now, what did your mom think of you doing that?
Not good.
There she
you know,
is.
If anything, I was making noise. She didn't mind so much that I was having the radios there, but I had. Like I said, I had all the tapes in the house on this little kitchen table. So, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I was in the kitchen doing this. I wasn't in my room. So when it comes time for her to get in there and do her thing,
you're in there.
Now I got to clear out all of this stuff that I've been in there for like hours doing. I got boxes on the floor, empty cassette cartridges. It was just a mess. So.
Well, you've definitely come a long way because now you actually have your own studio at your house.
Yes.
And you want to talk to us a bit about that as far as how long you've been building up what you've got there?
That started probably in 2000.
Okay.
And in 2000, I got my first place, and I took what I owned, which was my bedroom, and just moved it into an apartment. So I didn't really have much there, but what I did have, I made sure I had music there. You know, and so it slowly started building from that. I don't have too many things in my possession now in my studio that I had from back then, but this is basically, it started from then. I do have, however, I got a speaker that has wood paneling on the side. Does that count?
Yeah.
That's probably the oldest thing I got in there. That's that one monitor. I mean, I have newer monitors, but that one monitor, I just keep it around for, I guess, similar reasons.
So it's not that you have less now than you had then. It's just that you have newer things now than you had then.
Oh, I have more.
Okay.
I got more and newer.
Right.
You know, eventually it's like, you see, I'm building up to that.
Yeah.
You know, guys, we can never have enough electronics.
Right.
You know, so I got a studio full of stuff that I need to do everything I want to in music. I'm still going to Guitar Center, you know, looking for new stuff.
Yeah. So what are you looking for out there? You know, like what is it that makes up your studio? You know, like what are some of the things that you have and use?
Oh, okay. Well, obviously I have my turntable. So then I have, now the turntables also plays vinyl. Then I have another turntable for CDs. And then I have my MIDI controller. But that's for the DJ aspect of it, or like, you know, going and digging in the crates when I play a record. Right. And I also have a Casio keyboard, full-size Casio keyboard. That's it output sound as well as a MIDI keyboard. Then I have an Axial keyboard, which is a MIDI keyboard, no sound output, just sound manipulation. You know, then I run the Reasons program, the Mixcraft program, a few dual monitors, a laptop, a mix board, things of that.
And that's how you create, you know, you use all those different keyboards and make something.
Everything comes right back to the laptop. And if I didn't have my laptop or my mix board, those are major components in there. I can have all the programs I want. Could I do it without that stuff? Yeah, but it'd be a lot harder. It'd be putting me back to 2000 when I didn't have that stuff and I was just burning it straight to a tape or a CD, like an external burner, and it was a start, but I'm not going back to that.
Right. Now, how long will it generally take you to make a beat or to make music and finish it? Does it just like depend? I mean, have you ever had something where you've sat down for 10 minutes and been done, and you've had something that you've worked on for 2 years and been done, or how does that generally work?
Well, to answer your question is yes, to both of them. I've had tracks where I'll sit down and I'll come up with something, and in about 3 hours I'm done in its entirety. But that came from some serious motivation. There's a story behind that too. Then I have other tracks that take me about a week and a half. Sometimes the track take me a weekend, but generally in about 2 to 3 days, I have a basic foundation, you know, minus a few engineering and mastering here and there, but not that long.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, that's really, really cool. And then it's got to be great having your own place to work in your own house, not having to go and pay someone to use their, you know, their place, and not having to go and drive somewhere, even if it is your own stuff, not having to go drive down the road to do it. You know, you can just walk right into your room, you know.
Absolutely. It's a getaway. Sometimes I go in there, I don't even really work on the music. I listen to music. Sometimes I forget to do that. Be so concerned with trying to create that I forget to appreciate.
Yeah, right.
You know, so I just have to stop, grab myself a nice little drink or whatever, and just start getting in the crates and looking through old stuff.
So what do you listen to?
Blues, old house, old school R&B, classic rock. Most of the stuff that I like to do, you know, it's easy for me to tell you what I don't listen to than to tell you what I do. I even listen to opera. Yeah. You know, that's might be unheard of, but in my mind, I find relaxation in some of that.
Do you mind if I ask what you don't listen to?
I don't mind. It's mostly like, you ever heard like Asian ceremonial music? This loud, clanky stuff. You know, I'm not trying to knock on that culture's music, but that will probably be what I don't listen to. And I mention that because I listen to everything. Just the other day, last week, Sunday, I found a folder on my computer. It said Sounds of Rajasthan. I put that on for about an hour and a half. I was stuck there, just listening to that. And actually, too, my photographer, he just came back from India and he put out like a little photo book of him being in India. And I'm flipping through that book and listening to the Sounds of Rajasthan. You know, hey, that was cool. I listened to everything. You know, so I felt like I was really there because I had the music going, I had the pictures. You know, it just took me away from, you know, just listening to one style of music. I listened to everything. Yeah.
And now music also runs in your family.
Yes.
You have, what was it, your uncle?
Yep, that's my uncle.
Now, your uncle was a very famous sax player from the city here. Still is. He's still
jazz player pretty much.
Jazz player, yeah. Played a bunch of different things. And you know, you showed me that he's actually on what's the word? A mural. Yeah, a mural on the side of a building, and it's pretty high up there too, man.
Yeah, that building. All of us have a story for everything. I'm at work, and I'm down there on Lake in Michigan, and I go into an office that's on the 16th floor, and while I'm waiting for them to get everything together, I just happen to glance out the window, and I look at this mural, and I'm like, that's my uncle. And everybody looks like he's on the fire escape. I'm like, no, the actual picture that's on the mural is my uncle, and the building actually is on Lake in Wabash. So whatever building that is, the mural that's behind it, my uncle's the one that's playing the saxophone there. And he's heard that he was on there, but he's never even seen it. I didn't even know he was there. So I took pictures of it, showed the family and everything. You know, he hasn't even seen it yet. But I think that was just awesome. It just kind of took me back, like, man, you know, my family's like really into this music thing.
Yeah, that is really, really cool, man. It's really cool to know, you know, it's part of your family too. I mean, you know, people have actually been working on music in your own family. Like for us, I mean, for me, and I should say for my younger brother and I, my mom played the guitar a little bit My dad never played. My grandpa on my dad's side, my dad's dad played a lot of music, but then my mom's parents sang. I mean, that's about it though. My uncle Scott played the guitar, but it's always good to. It's really cool. Do you own any of your uncle's work?
No, I don't.
Does he have any work out there?
I'm pretty sure he does.
And what was his name again?
Or Jimmy Ellis. Is his
Jimmy
name.
Ellis. Man.
Now, whether he plays with different bands or not, I don't know. Cause see, I was raised up knowing that he was a musician, and he played in like at the Gaslight in Hyde Park. He played a lot out there. Then he came back from China a few years back on tour. This is stuff that's like another side of music that I don't even know about. I just know that he actually is a musician, you know. And when I was younger, we're talking about like 8, 7, 9, you know, those ages. I just knew that he played an instrument. He gave me my first piano, you know, and so that's about all I know about him. I wish, it's kind of sad, I guess, to say that I don't know more about it. But, you know, right now, as in the older stages of his life, you know, health starts to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, does he still play at all?
I don't think he plays right now, you know, because of health issues.
Right.
You know, I like to think that he does, but from what I hear and see, you know, it's not an option right now.
Right. Well, man, going back to your studio work, do you have any advice out there for producers who are up and coming, you know, and trying to find the sound, trying to find out the best way to work on something? I mean, do you have any, advice for them based on how you work?
Well, I won't call it advice. I just call it simple steps. You know, we kind of talked about this earlier in the first segment. It's easier to make music, but when it comes to protecting it, you gotta protect your music. You can use whatever programs you want to, just protect your music. You know, doing all of this stuff shows me that there's a reason why other people are paid to do it, because it's some serious work. You know, it's almost to the point where it's not fun anymore, because you're doing all this marketing, you're doing this, you're doing paperwork, you're making sure this is right. You know, people are paid to do that stuff. When you're doing it yourself, it's kind of tedious, but it'll pay off for you in the long run, because it'll be easier to push that stuff to the side and pick up your axe or whatever it is you like to do and start working on songs. But it's also got a serious side to it, especially if you want to go public with it. You want to market yourself. That's about the best thing I could tell anybody. What programs you use, that's up to that person's taste and feel.
Right on. Now, do you plan on learning more piano, guitar? Do you plan on, you know, incorporating that into your music more as you create, you know, beyond this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to learn more guitar. I took 2 years of piano in high school, but that was high school, you know, and so what I retained from that allows me to come up with nice little hooks or riffs or anything like that, and also convert that knowledge to learning guitar, because they're similar. They're both string instruments, you know, so they follow a pattern there. You know, once you figure out what that pattern is, or the box, you know, once I figured out what that box was, then I was good to go. I was like, oh, this is how it relates to the piano, you know, but I do want to learn more piano because that's for the third album.
Right.
The third album is going to be blues and rock, which I'm dabbling in now, but I want to be able to at least do a nice little wicked solo by the time I get to that point.
Right. Right on, man. Now, when do you think that's going to be put out? When do you have not even a specific date, but at least a year when you want that to be done? Because you have Overcast, which is, this track is on Overcast, one that's playing in the background. This is the Lesson I Learned, track 10. But do you have, because you said you want to, so this is disc 1. You want to make 2 more albums and then set it and then sell it, or, you know, keep it as an actual compilation of music. Like, that's when it's like complete, is when that third album is done. Do you know when you want that to be done by, or you just?
Yeah, actually, let's see. This summer, I'm hoping that I can get this house album out, or the dance album. But the summer after that, so we're looking at like 2014.
Okay. You
know, for the rock and blues, because I'm gonna take more time to do that, because I'm able to feel that more. You know, I'm able to learn more from the rock and blues. You know, because the electronic stuff, you know, basically using a mouse, a switchboard, and different program sequences and stuff like that, then laying down electronic sound. But, you know, when it comes to playing an actual instrument, you know, I want to learn more of that. There's real talent behind that.
Do you think that you will ever get to the point, and I guess this goes along with my last question here, is, are you, you know, you've been doing this for 16 years. Do you still want to be doing this in another 16 years?
Yeah.
Now, do you think you'll be doing the same kind of stuff, or do you think you'll actually, you know, will got a couple questions here. Is all right. So then you want to keep on doing this then for the rest of your life. 2, where do you want it to go? Where do you see it going? Where is the highest you want to take this? Is beyond fame? I'm not talking about fame. I mean, just as an artist, where do you want to take your work? Like, where do you want to see yourself putting out? Or do you even think, or do you just let it come,
Well, I don't think about too far down the road, because 2 years ago, I didn't think I'd be here. This wasn't my plan to be here right now 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I just letting it happen, and this is where it brought me. So 2 years from now, if things continue the way they are, I'll probably still be doing the same genres, but obviously a person is supposed to grow and progress in it. 2 years from now, what you hear, I don't want my music to still sound like that 2 years from now.
Right.
I want it to have more of a matured sound to it. Like you could tell this individual is actually, progressing and learning something as he goes, or getting better. It's not gonna be the same one-trick pony.
Right. You think you're ever gonna add in vocals?
Absolutely. I wanna.
Do you think you yourself are ever gonna actually be the one?
Yeah, that's why I was laughing and smiling, because I don't consider myself a vocalist at all. But lately, I've been finding that I want to try to experiment with it, because I listen to a lot of vocal stuff that's out now. To me, it sounds simple enough. With the technology nowadays, you can sound like something that you're not. And for the type of music that I'm working on now, that sound can work for me. I don't have to know how to hold, these amazing notes just to put out something that's palatable to the ears.
Right. Right on, man. Well, all right then, Marcel. Thanks again for being on, man. Excellent.
Hey, man, I'm enjoying myself hanging out here.
Hey, man, me too. Me too. So you guys can check out Marcel Forrest, aka Lake Street Detour, at LakeStreetDetour.com. That's LakeSTDetour.com. You guys can also check him out on SoundCloud.com and Facebook.com, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be back right after this. Right on.
That was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, man. That was not bad.